Hey, welcome to the DFS Build MLB edition. I am Kevin Roberts, joined with Taylor Smith. As always, we're going to go over the MLB DFS main slate. Just punched out an NFL DFS preseason video yesterday. That was a lot of fun. Actually handed out some good picks. If you want access to all of our NFL DFS stuff and everything else we do, hit up our Patreon link at the bottom of the description below this video. Just $5.99 a month for all the stuff we do, plus access to our Discord. Videos like this are free, and we'll go over the slate and break it down and hopefully help you out. And if we do help you out, please give this video a like and also subscribe to the channel. All right, we go game by game, looking at the pitchers and the stacks and kind of just saying whether we like them or not. So first up, we do have KC visiting Toronto, Michael Wacha taking on the Jays, and on the other side, Kevin Gausman. Nice price at 8.5K, but don't know if I like him against the Royals with that K rate. Yeah, so for me, it's like Gausman's okay at 8.5K. We know he has upside with his strikeouts. Just there's not a lot to be had with the Royals offense. Feels to me like this is a game just to avoid.
Yeah, mostly. I don't mind Gausman. I think you can argue he's a little underpriced, and the strikeouts have been up to like 30% over the last month. So he's looked kind of like the old Gausman pre-2024. Kansas City doesn't strike out a ton, but they also don't have a lot of power. So I think he can be okay. On this slate, he's more of a secondary play, like a pivot away from Gavin Williams. So not a priority, but I will have a good amount of him probably in multi-entry.
Fully agreed. I would imagine you are not into Wacha, as you probably shouldn't be here. And if that's the case, do you like the Jays at all, or are you just kind of ignoring the game like I am?
Yeah, I think Wacha's good enough to be annoying, and Toronto doesn't strike out at all. So I don't really see much of a need to get to either side.
Agreed. Across the board there. All right, Houston visiting Fenway Park, taking on the Red Sox. Hunter Brown, be good challenge. Cooper Criswell taking on the Astros on the other side. I mean, like, tough park. Hunter Brown's 10.5K. He's been not great. So I don't want Hunter Brown on the slate. I think there's other good options. It is Hunter Brown. Like, if you believe he's going to come out and just whiff everybody, I think you could do that because I don't think he's going to be owned. The other side, zero interest in Criswell. He's given up power to righties. Astros have like only righties who all hit good, especially against right-handers here. So I do like the Astros a little bit. Really nice park upgrade. And I guess for like GPPs, if you want to play Brown, I don't hate it. It's just I'm not going to be doing that.
Yeah, there's not much of a need to do it. He's 10.5, so he's the most expensive pitcher on the DK slate. The matchup's bad. The ballpark is a downgrade. We have other high-end pitchers in better spots. So, like, he's the kind of guy you can always play, multi-entry probably in particular, but I really don't see a need to get to him. I think Houston is okay. They're cheap, which is useful. Like, Correa's under 4K. Sanchez is there now under 4K. It's an upgraded offense. Pena's back tonight. He's more expensive and the same position as Correa, but one of their good hitters. So don't mind that. So yeah, I do like Houston a good amount. It is a good park for right-handed power. Not into Boston, obviously, at all.
Yep. All right, Minnesota and Cleveland. Joe Ryan taking on the Guardians. On the other side, you have Gavin Williams taking on the Twins. Obviously, the Twins can be a little bit dangerous, but they just traded away a good bat. And
everybody.
Gavin Williams, yeah, several good bats. Gavin Williams only 7.8K. He does have strikeout upside. Their lineup is depleted now. I'm with you. I think you were already kind of alluding to him being, albeit chalky, but a pretty good value here. Nice SP2 on this slate. Don't have a problem with that. Of course, if he's going to be mega owned, I don't mind shying away from it. I don't know if I really want to go out of my way to pick on him with Twins now, but I do not mind doing a pivot to Gausman or somebody in that price range. I think that's totally viable. And then on the other side, of course, against Cleveland, Joe Ryan. Like, Joe Ryan's 9.7K. I don't know. It doesn't feel like the best spot to play him when there's other guys like kind of in that price range that feel a lot better. So kind of like Hunter Brown, if you want to play Joe Ryan at like low ownership, that's fine. It's just not something I'm going to do. Gavin Williams looks like the only thing here that I feel confident about.
Yeah, I think Williams, while he's going to be owned, is certainly an awesome play. I just think he's underpriced for his skills. His strikeouts are up to like 28% over the last month. He underperformed early in the season, so I think he's still priced down for that. In addition to trading guys like Correa and Willie Castro, the Twins also don't have Byron Buxton, who's on the injured list. So the lineup is super watered down. About 3 strikeouts, not a ton of power. They do still have some power. So it's not without risk completely. And I do think Minnesota as a leverage stack is in play because they are so cheap. Guys like Clemens, Brooks Lee, Royce Lewis is still cheap, Larnick, etc. So it's fine, but I'm going to have much more Williams than the Twins. Ryan, while good, is a much more prolific strikeout guy against righties. And the Cleveland lineup is 8 lefties. So not really the spot to be hunting a ceiling. I will just play someone else at the high end.
Yeah, I think like obviously their best players are coming from the left side, specifically in the power department right now. So for me, with Gavin Williams kind of suppressing power on that side, I'm not really going to do the Twins. But if he's crazy owned, I am with you as far as like maybe scaling back the exposure there a little bit. Carlos Rodon taking on the Marlins in Miami. That is a major park upgrade for him. He is expensive at 10.2, but we know he has an elite K rate, specifically against the left side here. But I mean, they don't strike out that much, but their projected lineup here does have a 22.5% whiff rate. So I don't mind him. I just don't think at that price point is going to be a priority, but the upside is there. And anytime Rodon is going to be unowned, that is pretty interesting. Jansen Junk on the other side against an Aaron Judge-less Yankees. Given the park and no Judge, like I guess was he 6.3K? Like you can certainly entertain Junk. Like that's fine. Just obviously it's still a good stacked Yankees with a lot of lefty power plus Stanton from the right side. So I just don't think I'm going to go out of my way there. And the price point on Rodon probably keeps me away from him too.
I'm pretty interested in Rodon. I think he would be my third favorite among the expensive options. Going to be a lot less owned than Logan Gilbert, I think. So I think that alone puts him in play. Miami, while not a great strikeout matchup, also doesn't have a ton of power against lefties. So I'm pretty interested at 10-2. I much prefer him to Hunter Brown in that range. And then I do think the Yankees are okay. It's just a really powerful lineup. Even without Judge, you see everyone there has an ISO of 170 or better against righties. I don't think Junk is bad. He's 6'3", and the Yankees do have some Ks in the lineup, and he does have elite control. So I don't think the high walk rate for the Yankees would be an issue for him. I think you can play Junk. I don't think it's really necessary, but he's viable. Yankee stack is viable just for the power. You're not going to get leverage because I don't think Junk's going to be popular, but it's just a good offense that's not going to be owned on this slate.
Yep, and I agree. Rodon over Hunter Brown for sure. Giants against the Mets. We got Robbie Ray taking on the Mets. Not into Robbie Ray with that matchup at all. Obviously, for GPPs, based off of his upside, it's viable. I wouldn't do him. I mean, 8.8 is a nice price for how he's been and everything, but I would much rather just go up and get like Rodon or something if I was going to do that. We'll talk about other guys that just look better. David Peterson on the other side against the Giants. There are strikeouts here. Numbers look pretty good for Peterson as well. I think he's like 8.3. I didn't see his price. Let me see. Peterson. Yeah. So, palatable price. Like, I don't mind it. And the matchup's okay. I don't mind him. It's just kind of like a middle of the road play. If you want to land on him, maybe as a pivot away from Gavin Williams, like we're talking about, 8.3, I'm okay with that one.
Yeah, I just don't know how much upside he has. I think Gaussman for 200 more is someone who just has a higher ceiling naturally based on the strikeouts. So Peterson's okay, kind of a fringe play, I think. He just doesn't have a ton of strikeout upside, especially against righties. He's more of a ground ball guy, so he's acceptable. I don't think he's a priority. Ditto for Ray. Like, it's a bad matchup. He's been pretty underwhelming recently, especially. So he's a little bit expensive also. Not really into that, not into the bats in this game at all.
Yep, totally fair. All right, Dodgers playing in a tiny park in Florida here against the Rays. Clayton Kershaw against the Rays. Like, obviously the matchup doesn't look that imposing, but he just does not have a strikeout rate. He has given up some power, and he's going to a park that is not good for pitchers. Shane Baz on the other side against the Dodgers. Godspeed to him. He does do a lot better against lefties than righties, but I mean, how many days in a row do the Dodgers look great and then they just never work out? Still, they look really good here, mostly because of the park, not really necessarily because of the matchup, but I'm not really worried about the pitching here. I think both sides are totally viable. Wind's blowing out. It's hot. So, yeah, I really like the Dodgers, even though I probably shouldn't. If they're going to be chalky, I mean, they shouldn't be too chalky because there's a Coors game tonight, but if they are going to be really owned, I don't mind getting away from that and just doing something else, but they do look really good, and the Rays look okay as well.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if the Dodgers are like super owned. I think Ohtani will carry some like he always does, but that's probably it. So I'm still fine with him, even though Boz has been a lot worse against righties. But this park, like we've said, is like a replica of Yankee Stadium, so it's good for lefty power. So good for him.
Right.
Otherwise, I'm really into the righties just because of Boz's split. So Betts, Smith, Baez, guys like that, really good. Hernandez as well. So it's a fine stack. I don't really think it'll be popular. So I'm interested. Tampa Bay, not as much. Like Kershaw, while not good, is still good. Like he keeps the ball on the ground. He has good control. He doesn't really get lit up. Tampa Bay's offense is kind of underwhelming. We prefer righties against him, but we prefer lefties in this ballpark. So I'm not super interested. Maybe Caminero as a one-off, Andy Diaz if he's in the lineup, but not super psyched.
Yep. All right. The game of the night. Pirates in Colorado at Coors Field to take on the Rockies. Andrew Heaney taking on Colorado. There used to be a time where we could pick on the Rockies. The time has come and gone, it seems. They seem to just always make it happen when we want to pick on them lately. And their lineup is just better than it had been. Antonio Senzatella on the other side against the Pirates. Naturally, it's a Coors slate. Both these offenses are viable no matter how you look at it. When you look at the numbers a little bit more closely, they look even better, actually. So the Pirates are going to be owned. The Rockies are going to be a little bit less owned, but still probably owned. I don't have a real strong argument against them, except for the Pirates are just inherently not great on the year. And also Coors just seems to never go the way we expect it to go. But by the numbers, Pirates and Rockies both look good, and I don't have a problem with them.
I much prefer the Colorado side. Like Heaney's strikeouts have tanked. He's allowing a ton of power. He's getting lit up by hitters from either side. So Colorado, I think, just also has the better offense. So Goodman, Tovar, Bernabel, those guys all look great. Brenton Doyle's cheap. Tyler Freeman leading off.
Yeah.
There's enough here. Tolia, if you want, at first base is under 4K. So Colorado looks pretty good. I'm less interested in Pittsburgh, especially if Pittsburgh is the chalk. Like, it's a high ground ball offense. The one thing Senzatella can do well is keep the ball on the ground. So there's certainly a path to failure. Jared Triolo is 2K flat. If he's in the lineup, it's going to be kind of hard to get away from that, especially in like a single entry type thing. But it's not exciting. Like Cruz is priced up. They're all kind of priced up, and they're all bad hitters beyond like two of them. So this is chalk I wouldn't mind getting away from. I think it's okay, but I prefer them as a mini to a full stack.
Yeah, like I'm never going to tell you that a team in Coors is a bad play, but when they're that chalky, like the Pirates, like really? Like that's easy chalk for me to go away from on a bigger slate where there are a lot of other advantageous spots. So you can totally play the Pirates. They're just going to be owned, and I think there's other spots like the Dodgers we already talked about and a few others we'll get to that just
and
look
one we'll get to right now.
Yeah, exactly. Angels hosting the White Sox. Shane Smith up against the Angels. Honestly, his power control numbers against righties is a little bit scary in this spot, but the Angels have loads of power. Wish they had more lefties because he struggles a lot more against that side of the plate. And Tyler Anderson showing reverse splits per usual against lefties. White Sox don't have like a ton of really imposing lefties. They have like two, maybe three here. But honestly, for me, it's all about the park and the weather, and the pitching just isn't very good. So you could look into the splits thing. I don't really love to ignore that, but I am kind of ignoring it for this game.
It's not like Anderson is good against righties.
No,
like,
I know.
He's really bad against lefties, but he's also not good against righties. So it's like I'm not concerned about that overall.
No, I do think Shane Smith has been very, very good against righties, but they have so many good righty power bats that like I don't really care that much, especially with the park and the weather factor. Both offenses look really good today. So I think I actually weirdly lean Chicago a little bit here, but I don't mind the halos. I do fear the splits a little bit.
I think the White Sox are probably the best stack on the entire slate, especially if Coors is going to be the chalk.
The day that ends in Y. White Sox love.
They're kind of good. Like
they're not bad, actually.
Montgomery are good
this all year.
Yeah, Benintendi and Montgomery are good hitters. They're lefty. Like we said, Anderson against lefties is horrible, so they're perfectly fine. But Robert and Vargas are good hitters. Edgar Caro has some on-base ability. My draw, if he's in the lineup, super cheap, multi-positional eligibility. So I love the White Sox. The Angels are also fine. Like Shane Smith coming off the IL, he threw 55 pitches in a warm-up game, essentially. So he's probably going to throw 3 innings, and then it's White Sox bullpen the rest of the way. I don't generally love to target bullpen games, but the White Sox bullpen is not good at all. So I'm totally into the Angels as well, despite Smith's power limiting against righties. I'm still fine with Neto, Trout, Ward, Adele, Adele. So yeah, for the White Sox, but both teams look really good in this game.
Yep. Agreed. All right. St. Louis taking on the Padres in San Diego. We got Matthew Liberatore taking on the Padres. Don't really want him because they do not strike out. And I mean, it's a pitcher park. You could argue that, but it's not a good spot. Nick Pivetta, though, I do like. Cardinals do have a little bit of strikeouts there. He is a nice price. Second best projection of the slate. Pitcher park, and he does have upside. Talk me out of Pivetta, man, because I like him a lot.
I will not do that.
Thanks.
Because I'm going to play him a lot also. 9,500. So he's the cheapest of the top 5. Much better spot than Ryan, much better spot than Brown. I think I prefer him to Rodon even at this point. So
yeah, better
decent
value.
Discount, good matchup, good ballpark, like you said. No qualms with him whatsoever. And then it's like Machado, Tatis for San Diego look fine against the lefty, but not a good park. The lineup is a little better now that they've added like Laureano and potentially O'Hearn, but kind of just those two for me on the
just
Padres
still
side.
Just those two same guys only that are powering this offense. Just not sustainable, you wouldn't think. It's always really nice that we're on the same guy, so surely nothing can go wrong at all.
Definitely
all right.
not.
You're right. I hope not, though. It looks good. I like Pivetta. All right, next up we got Anthony DeSclafani taking out the Athletics. Godspeed, sir. He does a pretty good job against lefties here, which is weird because I feel like I remember him as traditionally not good against lefties. But this year, small sample size, getting murdered by righties. They got a lot of righty power. The wind's blowing out, and that is not a good park for pitching. Love the Athletics. Arizona does not give a F anymore. They're just selling everybody. They're done. They have a very watered-down lineup, so correct me if I'm wrong, but Jacob Lopez looks like a pretty good SB2 at 7K here. It's still a bad park. They still do have some power. You certainly could talk me into both sides kind of situations because Lopez gives up a lot of power from the right side. It just they don't have like a ton of imposing righties right now. So I think Arizona's okay. I like Lopez a little bit more than them, and I love the Athletics tonight.
I'm not really on the pitching. I think it's obviously a hitter-friendly ballpark with good hitting weather. I guess you can play Lopez, but I just prefer other stuff. Like I just rather get Gavin Williams or pay up for Gausman or something like that.
Well, I agree with that. I'm just saying at 7K, I think he's a little bit more viable than like if you didn't look at the Arizona lineup and you're just like, oh no, it's Arizona. It's not as scary as it used to be.
No, like they've traded Naylor and Suarez. Like they're super watered down.
Right.
But they're also cheap and in a good offensive ballpark. Marte, maybe one of the top hitters on the slate. Carroll, lefty, I think is okay. Otherwise, you're going cheap with guys like Locklear, Blaze Alexander, super cheap, Jose Barrosa. So if you want to like pay up for 2 aces, this is one team you can do it with. Totally into the A's as well. Like DeSclafani, I'm not really looking into the splits because he's barely pitched this season or at all in recent years. So previously lefties gave him more trouble. So Kurtz, Butler, Soderstrom, but Rooker and Langelier is always in play.
Just all of the Athletics, baby. They all look good. Like they are right up there with the Dodgers and White Sox for me today. All right, Texas visiting the Mariners in Seattle. Jack Leiter taking on the Mariners. I think based off the park, you can play him if you want to. Don't think that's really something I want to do. But really, based off the numbers in the park, Cal Raleigh is really the only thing I want to do there. Don't want to go crazy with the M's tonight. But Logan Gilbert on the other side looks awesome. Obviously, anytime anybody is in Seattle, we have to consider them because the park is so good for pitching. But Gilbert just has an elite strikeout rate, doesn't really walk anybody, and doesn't give up a lot of power in general. Having said that, he's going to be like 50% owned. So I am definitely going to do a sprinkling of Texas stacks here for a little bit of leverage, but he's going to be like in like probably at least 75 to 80% of my lineups.
Yeah, I don't see much reason not to do that. Like ownership would be the only reason, but He's the best pitcher on the slate. He's the third most expensive pitcher on the slate, so he's arguably underpriced. He's in a better spot than Brown, better spot than Rodon. Plus, he's a better pitcher than Rodon. And Texas, while not an amazing matchup, like they're pretty average for strikeouts, they have some power. It is a great park for pitching. He's been amazing at home for years, so not a huge surprise there. Easily the SP1, and I think you're pairing him with Gavin Williams in most lineups.
That is very agreeable. Okay, that does it for a game-by-game breakdown. Hopefully that helps you out. If it does, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and also hit up the link, our Patreon link, $5.99 for everything we have to offer. Taylor already knocked out his picks for pitchers and his favorite stacks for the slate. Then you can access our Discord as well. And right now we do have WNBA and MMA picks up too. All right, thanks for watching and good luck.